Self-healing for business owners. Why it is so important to put attention towards healing, self-healing. What does it actually mean and how does it make you money? That's the question as the business owner. Healing means becoming whole, meaning that there are no schisms in your psyche. All energies, desires, and past memories are successfully integrated and they do not lead to you losing energy or your focus being drawn unconsciously into some direction where you don't want it to go. When you have these things inside of you, as I just said, energies, repressed energies, unmet desires, longings that you don't acknowledge, that you don't believe that should be there, and past memories that you haven't fully processed. If these are inside of you, then your consciousness is drawn towards that as an attempt for healing. It's a natural healing mechanism of our psyche to pull us towards situations on the outside or memories on the inside that are conducive to us looking at the things that want to be healed outside of us. When you are whole, you have a higher attraction as a leader. The integration is shown and can be witnessed in your energetic radiance, drawing followers to you. Because the leader is not the person who proclaims I'm the leader, but the person with the social proof, where other people say, okay, I accept you as a leader, right? Otherwise, all right, and the people that have been assigned to follow you do so on their own accord because they energetically sense that you have something that they don't, which is integration and healing. Exactly. So after all, as a healer, it comes down to them trusting you that you have the capacity to lead, which oftentimes means that you have a life that they would want to have, so that they trust your decision making because they seem, well, if her or his decisions are that good and bring that much results in her or his own life, I may trust him with the decision making particular to what I want to be led in which area of my life for and on. A lot of people, most people carry their wounds into their adult lives. That is why they remain dependent emotionally, financially, or even in the form of an unhealthy habit that meets an emotional need in an unhealthy way, or even an addiction. So when you heal yourself, it means that you close the gaps within your psyche. Effective leadership through self-healing. In order to lead, you need to be a leader where the follower senses that in following you and taking instructions from you, it will be benefiting them. But you can't tell that. They need to say it. They need to believe it. In order to lead effectively, you need to be respected. How do self-healing make you money? Exactly. So when you confront these things inside of you that are frightening to a lot of people, for example, setting correct boundaries with their parents, a lot of people still are afraid of that, of actually growing up and saying it's like, this was the situation that it was in childhood when I was dependent on you. Now I'm not anymore. And now I have different boundaries and different rules for my life. And I would wish you to be respectful of them. Can we find a way to agree on that, right? Most people don't have that conversation with a parent when you're a leader. Usually you have had these conversations and this is what other people respect about you. Also, providing for yourself, leading in all these various ways of sports, of a good lifestyle, leisure activities, being free of addictions that torment you, or emotional ups and downs where you are from Monday to Friday and even Saturday through Sunday for most people, let's call it the way that it is, you are performing and people wish like, man, how can they do that? I'm just so volatile, I can't even do that, right? And that's what they respect. So how does self-healing make you money? When you are a better leader, your business runs more efficiently because it is always a reflection of your inner state. You set an example and raise the standard of the whole team. Exactly. So by you healing, you will receive higher level of insights, better strategies, and generally your vibration raises. And when your vibration raises, something very interesting happens is that things tend to integrate. All of the different parts of yourself, all of the memories, all of the different shades of your motivation and your skill set, they all fluctuate towards one coherent application and they come together. They shift into the natural place, they integrate. Everything in your life integrates when your energy rises. And so in order to heal, when you heal, those lower energies are being transformed into higher energies, meaning You know, what is a lower energy? For example, that I can't do something, I am dependent, I am a victim, so to speak, on the effect of something in my life that is basically having power over me. That lowers the energy. And so if you can see that as the illusion that it is, then your energy naturally rises, and then things in your life start to integrate. Could have explained that better. Next time I will. So you set an example and raise your standard of the whole team. You set a higher standard for your direct reports to aspire up to, and they in turn set the standard for their employees working below them. So by you healing, you raise your own energy, and you also raise the standard of what is acceptable and what's required, what is asked of everybody else. Through healing yourself, you're able to set an example of what an integrated leader looks like, behaves like, sounds like, and feels like, in the sense of how they feel emotionally when they are around you. So in order to heal, you need to understand what is exactly that you are healing inside of you. What are the psychological phenomena that you need to address in order to be a better leader? There are different kinds of wounds that we need to heal. Healing always happens as a result of inputs of work. It is not an outcome that can be forced. But when you take good actions that aid the healing, healing is likely to occur. So in the same way as a cut heals, it is the reconnection of two parts that belong together, and the split that has been caused through an occurrence that heals. It heals them. In that way, healing is a natural process, and it goes without your doing. All you need to do is to identify the healing process that are already happening and stop interfering with them. Exactly. Healing does not need to be impulsed. It does not need to be initiated. What we can do is to take action to initiate an environment where we put ourselves in, or start processing, start allowing that, start reading material that is related to that, and then allowing the inner process to happen. It is more a being pulled towards the inner process rather than making the process happen. So in that way, healing is a natural process, and it goes without your doing. All you need to do is to identify the healing processes that are already happening and stop interfering with it. So in the same way as a cut heals by itself, the emotional wound that needs healing are also healing by themselves. All we need to do is to allow the healing to happen. And when you believe scab was some kind of malicious fungus growing on your wound, you would be very distraught and trying to peel it off, making the healing process never complete. Exactly. So if you recognize certain behaviors in yourself and you don't like them, and you think that there's something wrong with you, like they are some kind of symptom of a problem somewhere, like unhealthy habit, a behavior pattern that you don't like, or not doing the things that you actually feel you should be doing. Oftentimes we assign the wrong reason to that, and problematic is that because it frames the problem differently in our minds.